Today, I'm going to present an overview of the CI Class Manager inside ServiceNow. The CI Class Manager can be found in the main menu by typing Class Manager, and it appears under the configuration. If you click on the Hierarchy button, we can search all of the classes inside the CMDB by keyword. So if we use Server as an example, we'll see a list of suggested tables with the word Server. We'll choose the parent table, which is highlighted here, and we'll choose it. You can see where in the hierarchy you are by using the breadcrumbs up at the top. So server is a child of computer, which is a child of hardware. On the basic info tab, you can see the table name as it appears in the CMDB. This is not an editable field, but the display name and the description for this class are editable. You can also see it's defined as an extensible table inside the CMDB. There's a managed by group. This is the default managed by group for all CIs that get created in this class and any child classes. This is a best practice to have a managed by group for your infrastructure CIs. Now, note here that changes to the management by group field are applied to all members unless they're associated with a technical service offering. A technical service offering, such as this one for Windows Server Administration, has a managed by group of Win Server Management. So if this server happens to be a Windows server and it's inside the dynamic CI group for that technical service offering, this group will be overridden. There's also an icon button, which can be used to change the icon if desired, and this principal class checkbox. Out of the box, there are no defined principal classes. If you do not have any principal classes defined, when you create an incident or a change, and click on the configuration item reference list to choose a CI, the entire CMDB is available. If you have a large CMDB with millions of CIs, it'll be overwhelming and confusing to fill out the incident. And many of the classes may not really be pertinent to what you're trying to do. So by designating specific CI classes as principal classes, you're telling the system, these are the items we actually manage, report on, and open tickets against. So if we choose server as an example to be principal class, and we can see whether that took effect by looking at the table, CMDB class info, and filtering out false, we'll see down the only class that's a principal class, the CMDB CI server, which means for incidents and tasks, the only configuration items that should be appearing on the reference list would be the server class. Of course, you wouldn't do this in practice. You would choose your top level important items like Netgear, CMDB, servers rather. So we click here. We'll see now, instead of having thousands of entries, I only have 20, which is how many servers I have. And those are the only entries that would appear. So again, when choosing principal classes, it's important to know which ones you're going to choose and do them all at once. But for now, I'm going to clear this and save it. Continuing on down the left side, you see the Attributes tab, which will show all of the columns and attributes in the table server, in this case. And you can separate them into those that were inherited or derived from parent tables, or those that were added specifically for this class and will be inherited by any child class. So as an example, hostname. Identification rule for this class, you can see there are two types of identification rules. There's independent and dependent. So for servers, it's an independent identification rule, which is being inherited from the hardware class. And this is the rule that determines whether a CI is a duplicate, therefore whether it gets updated or created inside the CMDB. I will not go into a tutorial on how identification rules work in this demo, but one thing to note for classes such as application and others that have dependent identification rules, there'll be an additional tab down here on the left that shows what relationship it's dependent upon. So for this identification rule for an application, it has to pass this identification rule and is also unique to runs on hardware with an operating system. So for each hardware with an operating system, this identification rule would apply to that CI. Next up is the reconciliation rules. So these rules will determine when you have a multi-source CMDB, which sources are allowed to populate which attributes and which have priority. So as an example, for server, you can see that derives, meaning inherited, all attributes can be updated by ServiceNow discovery, and this was derived from the computer class. We also have the service graph connector for SCCM, and we can see that the serial number has a higher priority, which means lower number is a higher priority. So SCCM can update serial number and takes priority over whatever discovery finds. We can add additional reconciliation rules, and there are two different types. We'll choose static here. And let's say asset management will have even a higher priority for serial number and location. When you're done, you can use the preview rule to see which attribute would inherit the value from which source in first and second priority. So here we can see serial number, asset management is first priority, service graph connector is second. Location, asset management is first, and ServiceNow discovery is second. All other attributes come from discovery. We can also preview the data for any particular CI. So for example, if we have this CI, we can take a look and see what value would get inherited for serial number. If this is not the value we expect, based on the changes to the reconciliation rule we made, we need to adjust. Once we're sure everything looks good, if the reconciliation rule is updated, you can do recompute here, and it will go and put the proper values based on the reconciliation rules for each of the CIs in the class. Also in the class manager, we can see suggested relationships for any class. So here, you can see the relationships from and to and from server. You can filter. So if you only want to see outbound connections, you can see here the defined relationships or suggested relationships are server, contains, depends on, instantiates, and these are mostly derived rules from other classes. Next, we can expand the health submenu in the class manager, and we'll see that there are 4 menu items: completeness, compliance, correctness, and health inclusion rules. These all refer to the CMDB health dashboard and help determine which CIs are included in each of the metrics. So for example, completeness, there's recommended fields for all the CIs and server and child classes. Here we can see we have 4 recommended fields: manufacturer name, operating system, and serial number. And we can see in our completeness metric, which runs daily, 98% are compliant. The compliance menu has several metrics defined. There's a certification filter, certification template, which can be used to define the certification filters, and the audit. So the compliance tab, you see we have several things that need to be defined. Certification filter, and there can be several, defines which CIs in the class need to be certified. The certification templates are what gets certified for each of the filter types. So for example, server minimum statistics. At a minimum, all servers need to have RAM greater than 2 meg, disk space greater than 80 gigabytes. And then in the audit tab or sub-tab, we can see which audits were run when. And they need to be desired state type audits in order to appear in the compliance tab of the dashboard, health dashboard. The correctness tab has 2 definitions: an orphan rule and a staleness rule. So there are no orphan rules defined out of the box, but an example might be on application class, maybe missing a runs-on relationship to a server is something that you want to ensure that all software applications run that to the hardware. Staleness, there's an out-of-the-box rule of 60 days, which is inherited by all classes. You could define a different rule for servers and say servers are stale after 30 days. And then that would be reflected again in the correctness tab, correctness KPI of the CMDB health dashboard. The health inclusion rules determine which CIs are used for calculating the completeness, compliance, and correctness KPIs. So as an example, we can say we only want environment is production CIs. Also, under the health tab are health inclusion rules. This tells the completeness, compliance, and correctness KPIs which CIs for the class are included in the calculations. So as an example, we can choose all CIs in which the environment is production, because we don't care about the CIs, the completeness, correctness, or compliance for anything not in production. And we can choose which metrics we want to apply. So at any given time, we can also choose the CI list menu to get a standard list view of all the CIs in the class, which is configurable like any other list view in ServiceNow. And this ends the demonstration overview of CI Class Manager.